So, shooters and reloaders out there, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to the hot lead zone. And if you really want to improve your pistol shooting, whether you're shooting automatic pistols, or rather semi-automatic pistols, or revolvers, or single shots, doesn't matter. The ability to work the trigger is what you want to develop. And there's no better way to develop a good trigger finger than to go ahead and work the double action trigger pull. And the reason is that the double action trigger pull is very demanding because it's a longer stroke, and a lot of shooters try to stack it and stage it like a single action trigger, and that's not the way to shoot a double action trigger or any trigger. The best way is to stroke the trigger, whether it's a long double action pull, or whether it's a short single action, or a Glock trigger, which is in between, or a very crisp single shot trigger. Doesn't matter. The way you work it is by stroking the trigger. And that's best for rapid shooting or shooting in an emergency, because you're not going to use the target bullseye of incremental pull and press a little more and press a little more. And where's the break? The advantage of the long double action trigger is we really don't know exactly where the break is. So all we're going to do is stroke it, and the break occurs in there somewhere. A surprise break every time. And if our grip and stance is good enough to support the long double action pull, then we can sure shoot any other trigger that there is. Let's go on a program of developing our double action stroking, our trigger stroking finger. And so we're going to take this 22 revolver, happens to be a Smith & Wesson Model 17. You can use any 22 caliber double action revolver. And I've got some nice ammo here. We're going to take 200 rounds and shoot as fast as the range will allow us to shoot those 200 rounds, all with a double action pull that's a stroke. No incremental, just hold the sights and go ahead and stroke the trigger until the trigger breaks. Keep doing this 200 rounds at a time and see if we can get better and better and better at shooting the double action trigger. And then that stroke will be applicable to all triggers. Plus 200 pulls of that 10-pound trigger will help us develop a stronger trigger finger, and stronger is better. Now the ammo we're going to use is this Armscore Precision. It's actually copper flash jacketed 22 long rifle, and it's hollow point ammo. And we're going to take 200 rounds of it to the range. This ammo, of course, is loaded in the Philippines, and it's available in 500 shot plastic wrapped bricks. So now we're doing that 200 round double action shooting, but we're trying not to go so fast that we get yelled at the range. So here we go. And again, reloading as soon as we can and shooting again. And again. And here's the last 6. So here's the purpose of all this, and that is of course to shoot 200 rounds, double action, offhand at 12.5 yards. And this is going to make the trigger finger stronger. Plus it's going to see if we can improve our double action stroking of the trigger, and we'll be able to use that same trigger stroke on all triggers. But the idea here is 200 rounds and I have one miss here and one miss there. So otherwise 198 hits on the paper, and we're starting to get a little bit of a grouping here, a little bit to the right, but it's pretty well centered. And it'll be interesting after I shoot another 1,000 rounds whether all of these start to disappear. We start to get rid of all these fringes, so start to concentrate our fire. And then if I stroke the trigger a little bit to the left, I'm probably stroking straight back, and that'll get the over here to the middle. But it's pointless aiming this target because it's falling apart. So this is a video of this 9/22/2018 shooting of the 200-round exercise. Now, interesting, I was shooting one shot every 0.7 seconds, or about 3 shots every 2 seconds, and I actually got screamed at by the range master for shooting too fast. And when he screamed at me, that's when I threw that one up there.
Oh shit, look at yours.
So then I had to slow down a little bit to about 1 shot every second, but even that is too fast because the rule around here is 1 shot every 2 seconds. So we'll see how we are after we shoot another 1,000 rounds. I'll do another report to you to see if this exercise is good to improve our double action shooting, and indeed that same stroke will work for all triggers. So here's the Smith & Wesson Model 17-22 long rifle caliber back from the range after shooting 200 rounds double action. And toward the end there, the fouling started to get a little bad, so that occasionally the double action stroke would be kind of interrupted. It wasn't smooth anymore. It caused some problems shooting the double action shots. But that's a sign that the fouling had gotten to that level. So let's go ahead and clean the gun. So we'll start by using the power drill to clean the cylinders, as you see here. No better way to clean the fouling out of a cylinder than to do the electric drill procedure. Notice by using a .22 caliber rifle brush, we don't even need to go all the way in with the brush. So that the rod doesn't have to engage. Why not let power tools do all the work for us? This is easy and very effective. We'll go ahead and do all the cylinders. So we've cleaned the cylinder and actually went ahead and cleaned the face of the cylinder also. And that's simply done by using Brasso and wiping with a rag with Brasso until no more black comes off. At that point, you stop rubbing with Brasso because you don't want to take the bluing off. You just want to take the blast marks off. And look at that. Got that nice and clean. Now, the only thing left now is the barrel. Now, back in the 50s and 60s, some big-time gun writers were saying that the .22 long rifle, because of the waxy lubricant on the bullets, required no barrel cleaning. You could actually shoot and never clean a 22 long rifle barrel because the lubricant on the bullets coated the barrel and it was fine, no rust. And they were right. However, we still like to clean our barrel every once in a while because get some of that fouling out of there. And there's no better way to do it than to use a bore snake. And this happens to be 22 caliber because you can see the little 22 that's been imprinted onto the little brass weight here. The snake is dropped through the barrel, and then you pull it up until the fabric portion comes to the back of the barrel. Then you go ahead and apply some Ed's Red or your favorite solvent to this point. And right here there's actually a brass brush included. And after that goes the patch part that just basically cleans and dries your barrel. So we just simply pull this through like so. Get a good grab on that, and there it goes. Now, of course, we don't even need to do that because, again, what the gun writers said was right, of course. And our barrel's not going to rust, but for those of you who like to have a clean barrel, well, nothing wrong with that. And, of course, we got to finish up by running a 22 caliber jag through the barrel with the mineral oil on there. So see if I can do this with the camera. There it goes. And we'll go ahead and run that through every cylinder also. Now, a great way to put some mineral oil in your cylinder is to go ahead and put some mineral oil on a nylon brush like this. And then just take that brush and run it through your cylinder like that. Much easier to do without the camera tripod in the way. There it is. The job's basically done.